go over just with our high-level partnership with IMS. So I will hand it over to him. Thanks, Jason.
Thank you, Jane, very much. And just to note, we are recording, correct, the webinar?
You
So
sure are?
another note for our members is that this is being recorded. So don't feel that you have to capture all the information. We will be getting this out to you after the webinar along with the Q&A. Also for others in the office who may want to watch afterwards, we will have a recording of the webinar. So very good. Thank you guys for that. Just a quick overview of how today will go. My name is Jason Ernest, President and CEO of IA&B, and I have Skylar Fox just up. There are obviously several from Coterie that will be presenting today, but I have Skylar up as we understand she is the account director for IMS, and a lot of contacts can go there, but we'll talk about that later in the day. I want to provide just a brief overview of IMS before we specifically get into Coterie. And for those of you that might not be familiar with what IMS is, for those of you that are, just a little overview. But IA&B, we consistently get feedback from our members as to what as an association, we should be doing. What are some needs of our members? And surprisingly to us, about a year ago, the #1 concern raised by the typical member agency, smaller independent insurance agent, was the need of IA&B to provide carrier representation and advocacy to our membership. We were hearing from a lot of our members that they were starting to feel the pinch of premium volume requirements from carriers, or, well, they have many appointments with carriers. Each and every one of those carriers wanted to be #1 in the agency. Everyone was pushing for that. It is a robust marketplace in Pennsylvania, Maryland, Delaware, and while appointments are easy to get, with those appointments come certain pressure points and certain needs that agencies were starting to determine wasn't necessarily what they were looking for. And the result was IMS, Independent Market Solutions, a way for the association, for IA&B, to secure appointments with carriers and to allow our members to come in as sub-producers and write business with these carriers without some of the pressure points that they get in the true appointed process. So let me explain that a little bit further and clarify. The first point is IMS is not unique to Pennsylvania, Maryland, Delaware. IA&B is a partner of multiple states within the IMS footprint. This brings advantages to both you as a member and to the carriers that are involved. Currently, we are a 14-state footprint, although this will be growing significantly over the coming years as we continue to increase volume. So these are 14 state associations, and you see the number of agencies that we can bring to carriers as a nice benefit to carriers to say, as an association, we can bring good, vetted, independent insurance agents to you. As a result, the carriers will provide the benefits that we'll talk about here in a second through the market access program. So this is a partnership of multiple states that are working to bring you good markets that you're letting us know that you need, and providing carriers access to some really good agencies that they might not otherwise find. Some bullet points as to IMS and why we think this is a great solution for a lot of our members. First of all, it is an exclusive member-only benefit. You only have access to this program as a member of IA&B, so it is an exclusive program. The key distinction here, and what we feel is very important, is you do not have a direct appointment with the carrier. And we're hearing from a lot of member agencies that there are certain situations where that is important. They're not looking for the appointment. The appointment instead is between IA&B and the carrier. We have the master appointment, and you as an agent are coming in as a sub-producer. So because of that, the carriers are able to offer low to no volume requirements. Think of as an appointed agent, those volume requirements may be heightened, but a lot of the carriers coming in through IMS are able to offer low to no volume requirements, something that agents said was very important. Extremely competitive commission rates, though, on the flip side, oftentimes street level commission rates that you would get as an appointed agent. But as a result of our negotiating as a group with these carriers through IMS, we're able to get the commission rates that you would come to expect. Also, as important, we're aware in some of these brokered or aggregate situations, there are fees for participating. There are absolutely no fees to participate in IMS. As an Iamb member, you have access to these carriers, and there's no restrictive contract terms. We are aware of contracts in these types of situations where you give up ownership, where it is very difficult to terminate and withdraw. None of that applies here. So we've built this program beneficial to our members, beneficial to the agent, very flexible for the carriers that come in. So it is a win-win situation. In order to become involved in IMS, a very simple two-step process. First, you complete a 4-page application that is through IMS, where you provide your proof of E&O insurance and then copies of individual and agency license. What is nice about this program is you do that once, and once you provide that application, you have access to any and all carriers. You're not doing this application for each and every carrier. The carriers are pulling the information through IMS with all this and allows them to turn you on. So you have the ability to select all or some of the carriers, and we'll review this in a second within IMS. And then you complete the sub-producer agreement between Iamb and you that sets you up and has the arrangements in there. So again, do this once. You have the ability to write with any or all carriers. And often the approval from the carriers, once they receive this information, is quick. In some cases, it can take up to 30 days, but a lot of our carriers are able to grant the approval and have you up and writing in a matter of days on the IMS platform. We have a robust market. We're still in the infancy stages of IMS, but we already have a robust marketplace in Pennsylvania, Maryland, Delaware. The markets are unique to the state. So as our members tell us we want certain markets, we will go out and secure those. We will hear quite a bit from Coterie today and what they're doing in the small business insurance marketplace. We have the more standard carriers like Travelers, Progressive, MetLife, where again, you can have access without an appointment and without some of those pressure points. We have some specialty markets, Attune on the small business side, but also V3 insurance on the workers' comp side, so a little bit more narrowed, and especially cyber. Cowbell Cyber is a great option for you. Flood, and then some really niche markets when it comes to hospitality and the jewelers marketplace. So again, we ask you to explore this. This is a solution that was asked for by our members, and we believe we address it through IMS. We're extremely excited to partner with Coterie and what they do, and I think you'll be very impressed with their platform when they speak a little bit more here shortly. The contact at Iamb, should you have any questions, is Tim Wonder. Tim is our vice president and handles membership, so you have his contact information here. So from an Iamb standpoint, if you have any questions, any feedback, any concerns, please reach out to Tim and he will assist that. The web address for us is imsaccess.com. You simply select your state, specific state, to see the menu of carriers and any special information, specific information that that carrier wants to have. So that is a brief overview of IMS from Iamb's standpoint, why we went down this road. We are excited about it. We've already had some great success. At this point, I will turn it over to Coterie. We're very excited to partner with them and to hear more. So I will let whoever wants to take it over from your end. And thank you, guys.
Thank you, Jason. Really appreciate that. Skylar Fox, I apologize. My video is not working. But I just wanted to say thank you all so much for taking the time to join us today here. We're very, very excited to partner with IMS and IA&B to provide that small business solution for your insurance needs. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to Jane. She's going to give us a little bit more information about Coterie and also walk us through the platform so you can see how it's used. So thank you again.
Yep, so I'm going to share my screen here in just a second, but for anyone joining late, sorry to everyone who is now going to hear me say this about 100 times, but please ask questions. In the bottom of your screen, you'll see the chat function, and then next to that, there's a Q&A. We want to make sure that we're able to answer any questions you may have so that you can decide if this is the right fit for you. So we'll be answering those after I get through this demo, and Jason on our team will be helping out with those questions, as well as Matt from our underwriting team. So I'll go ahead and take you through this demo, but like I said, please go ahead and ask questions as soon as you have them so that we can get those answered for you. So, and also just so you know, it looks like I'm staring at the ceiling. I have a monitor in front of me up here, so that's why it's looks like I'm staring at the ceiling. It's just a monitor. But anyways, so right now I am logged into our agent dashboard in our Sandbox account. And really all that is just our test account where we test out new features and things like that. But it is good for me to use this so that I don't actually bind policies that aren't real. So on the top left-hand corner here, I'm going to start with the new quote function. And this is what we call our instant qualification checker. So we put in just a few pieces of information. And what it's going to do is immediately tell us if this is a policy that Coterie can write and what products it would write it for. So it looks like for a nail salon in Ohio, I could get a business owner's policy, a GL, or a PL. So if I want to move forward, I just hit finalize application. And then we'll go into business age. Let's say a very successful nail salon, 150,000 in annual payroll and 200,000 in sales. And then I'm going to go over here to my coverages and select a business owner's policy. Have building leased. And you'll see these addresses pop up here at the bottom. This is actually a address verification tool that we have built in that will actually verify the addresses as you're typing them in. Let's keep these coverages the same for right now. And actually, before I put in the contact information or the additional insureds, I can get a premium immediately. So you'll see up at the top here that my monthly premium is going to be $33. And this kind of functions as a live application. So because our underwriting is completely digital, you're able to make changes to your deductibles and limits, your endorsement packages down below, and immediately see the change in the premium. So let's say I selected this endorsement package here down below. It's going to pull my premium up to $46.83, but then say I don't need that, and it'll go back down to the $33 per month. Another thing here is under this button, all coverage details, you can kind of see what this policy actually covers and contains. So that'll show your limits, your deductibles, and then this little question mark here next to each area kind of gives a quick overview of what we mean when we say, accounts receivable and what it covers. I also want to pop back down to these endorsement tiers down here. So we have 3 endorsement tiers. Each have different details with different limits. For instance, the silver coverage will have a blanket limit of 150,000 that includes all of these items listed here below. And then there's also some additional coverages along with the limit associated with them. So 3 tiers down here, and then we also have an equipment breakdown coverage add-on. But let's say I'm good with my nail salon and I don't need the endorsement package. If I want to actually review the policy and then bind it, all I would need to do is add in my the client's contact information. So Jen Nails, her career, chose her because her last name is Nails. Great. So I put in this information. Now I can save and view, and this little button up here actually switches over to say ready to bind, where then I can click this review and pay button, can choose my payment frequency along with the policy start date, and then put in the credit card information. Along with that, I can decide whether I want to send the policy documents straight to the policyholder, or if I prefer to, send them myself as the agent. If that's a personal touch thing that you'd like to do, we give you the option to either send them when you buy the policy, or you can send them on your own. So that's kind of the quick overview of our dashboard. As you can see, it's really easy. We've tried to make it easy. We know that sometimes these small business, policies, we're looking at $33 in premium. We don't want them to be time consuming for you all. We want to make sure that you can give great coverage and great products to your customers, but that it's not a super time expensive thing for you to do. So we've tried to make it fast and easy so that you can get in there, get the policy for them, and kind of send them on their way. I do want to make sure I hand it over to Jason too, if he has anything to add on this. I can keep sharing my screen, Jason, but I didn't know if you wanted to add anything.
No, I think you've covered it really well. I appreciate that, Jane, but no, I mean, you've gone over all the different additional coverages and endorsements and done a fantastic job. No, I'm here happy to answer any questions if anybody has any.
Yeah. Also wanted to ask Matt quickly too. Matt is a part of our underwriting team and actually obviously plays a huge part in these new endorsement coverages that we've added, and really just a lot of our features from an insurance product perspective. Matt, I'm curious if you wouldn't mind giving a quick overview of both the endorsements. I know I covered some of it, but then also the equipment breakdown coverage.
Yeah, sure. So these are similar to what you would see with other carriers in the market. The silver coverage gives you the $150,000 blanket limit. It's a set price of $175 added to the policy. You see what the first 5 or 6 of those coverages that are subject to that blanket limit. And then a number of coverages underneath that are either added perils to the policy or higher limits than what you would get in the standard ISO form. So these are Coterie specific endorsements that we filed. One good thing about what Coterie provides is that we have ownership over our rates, which is kind of somewhat unique in the MGA space. So our carriers trust us to do that filing and maintain adequate pricing, but competitive pricing. And that's what we seek to do on our insurance team. If you go to the gold, or let's skip down to the platinum coverage. So that's a $500,000 blanket limit, adds some ordinance and law coverage. So this one is maybe where you would, we've actually seen a lot of uptake on the platinum coverage. That's going to be $325 added to the policy. And then again, higher limits in some cases. There's some cases where silver, gold, and platinum all have increased limits, but kind of the same across all 3 packages. And then in other cases, there will be coverage that you'll see in the platinum that you wouldn't get with the silver. So there are some differences that may be desirable for larger businesses or building owners specifically. The equipment breakdown coverage will be is a recent addition that we'll be having a rolling kind of a process of rolling out new add-ons over the next couple of months. So we're excited about bringing those to the ones that again are fairly standard in the market. We'll have most of those available. The ones that are most commonly added to the policy equipment breakdown. For restaurants, we have a restaurant endorsement that includes a spoilage, and then we have liquor liability as well. Soon we'll have hired and non-owned coverage. We'll have a blanket AI package for contractors. So both of those coming within the next month or 2. So you see there's kind of some momentum behind those add-ons that you will see in our system.
Great, and it looks like we may have a couple questions in the chat, so I'm going to go ahead and stop my screen share, but I can always pull it back up if there's any more questions.
Yeah, Jane, I just saw that question, hired and non-owned auto. So yeah, that's about a month away or so.
Perfect. And then we're also starting to roll out workers' comp here in the next month or 2. We'll be starting in Georgia actually. And Matt, I've been meaning to ask you this. We're planning to launch in Georgia, but then once we feel like our product is at a good spot and that we've received all of the, we have a small group of agents in Georgia that are actually going to be doing really consistent feedback and communication with our team to make sure that the product makes sense from like a user experience side, but that also we're serving the need that they have. So once that's done though in Georgia, Matt, will this launch nationally, or will it be something that we're launching state by state for a while? Or not nationally, but to all available markets?
Yeah, Jane, our plan is once we get through this kind of beta testing in Georgia, see how that goes, roll it, make sure all agents in Georgia are aware of it. And then, we'll see how long that takes. We feel pretty good about what we're introducing. If we get feedback that says, something just doesn't work and we need to improve the tech solution to make it easier for agents before rolling out broadly, then that's what we'll do. We do think that there's probably two sets of rollouts to broaden our coverage to the NCCI states, and then from there to the independent bureau states, which tend to be kind of the larger coastal states. We'll kind of go one by one through those. So that's kind of how the rollout will happen. And some of that timing just depends on making sure that our capabilities align with the experience that we're seeking to provide for the agents.
So kind of along those lines, Jane, did we address like what all states we write in currently?
Yeah, that would actually, it looks like we also have a question in the Q&A chat from Michael. Did you see that, Jason?
Yeah, sorry. No, I'm happy to ask the question. Yeah, so it looks like this individual is saying that they're in Southeast Pennsylvania. Are there any New Jersey exposures planned?
Yeah, so recently we received approval for our program in New Jersey. So we do have it live for the BOP and the monoline GL policies. Professional liability is not yet available in New Jersey. That's probably looking around the July timeframe where we'll have a wave of states going, about 5 to 10 states where we'll add professional liability for, with New Jersey being one of those. Pennsylvania has both the BOP and the PL available.
Yeah, and just to add on to that really quick, Skylar just linked something in the chat, the agent resources page. You can find, in case you didn't take notes on everything that Matt was saying, you can find links to, our different state availability for products on our producer resource page, as well as, a whole host of other items like policy documents, appetite guides, all kinds of really great coterie stuff.
Jason, do you want to talk a little bit about some of our carriers as well as states that we're live in, and then maybe some of our plans moving forward, even though there may not be a timeline, but things like Quick Quote and some other, customer access points as well?
Yeah, no, I'm happy to. So we'll start at the beginning of that. So the states that we're available in currently, Matt covered this a little bit. We're in 48 total states. The only two that we are not writing in currently are New York and Massachusetts. And it's not because we don't want to. We filed and their insurance departments are just taking a while to get back to us. But there is a little bit more limited availability in certain states, particularly as it comes to the professional lines, as Matt just laid out, and you can find in our producer resources page. And there's a whole host of questions. Okay, so what are the companies that we write on?
Yes,
from coast to coast? Yeah, I got you. I remembered. So from coast to coast, currently it is Benchmark Insurance, with the exception of one state, and they are AM Best rated A Excellent. They're size 8. Down in Florida, we write on Clear Spring, which was a couple of reasons. My understanding is that they were able to give us a little bit more coastal capacity, but then also we're going to be partnering with them as we roll out work comp. So they were a good partner for us down in Florida. And then to your last question, what are some of the things that we've got going on? So Matt talked about products. We're developing on all sorts of fronts, though. We're getting ready to, hopefully here soon, launch the Quick Quote, is what Jane referenced. And what that is an opportunity for you to have a 24/7 access to the market. It is something that you can post on your website and possibly even in the future send out as an email, where your customers, your insureds, can go onto your website or get into their email and actually start the application process, saving you even more time allowing them to fill out all of their personal data based on what it is that you just saw from Jane, only it's a bit more of a, insured friendly. It doesn't have the insurance terms on it and whatnot. It's consumer facing. So they can fill all that out themselves and save you even more time. And it still gets attributed back to the agency and through IMS as well. So there's some really neat features that we're building out around that, and several other stuff that's in the works. They're always working on something new here, which is pretty fantastic to be a part of.
Yeah, thanks for going over that, Jason. It looks like Michael has his hand up. Michael, I'm going to turn on your allow to talk if you want to ask a question. And also, no worries if your hand raise was an accident. I feel like I do that all the time. We also have a question, is business auto or commercial auto something coming for us?
So the owned auto, the commercial auto line of business is not something that we plan on introducing in the near future. So that's kind of my what I could say about that. That's probably further off before we have a commercial auto product at Coterie.
Yeah, and I think it's important to note that we are like looking into it, right? Where we are researching what it is that's going to give you the most bang for your buck on a regular basis, and that's why we started with restaurants. We're moving into work comp. We're adding HNOA. Auto is planned for the future. We're just making sure that we're getting the lines out and the business that you need in order to write even more small business. And auto will be a part of that. We're just trying to make sure that we get to the most important, urgent ones to start with.
Another thing I wanted to add as well is people very often ask, what are you good at writing? What do you write well? And I'll obviously give it to Matt and Jason to add on, but for starters, we're great for really the small end of small commercials. So your home-based businesses, your startups, pre-revenue businesses. We're also a great market for more of the artisan contractors, so plumbers, HVAC guys, tile, cabinet installing, things like that. And then obviously just your Main Street America, businesses. So pretty, general nail salons, hair salons, coffee shops, really just, like small town type businesses, like anything you would find there. But our minimum premium is $300, and it's nice for, I'd say, if let's say you do 80% personal lines and you do commercial sometimes. I have had a lot of agents find that this is almost like a customer value, customer care type product to offer, because a lot of people have side hustles, especially now. Everyone is starting, a little side business, and just because your business is tiny doesn't mean you don't need insurance for it. So because our underwriting is completely digital, we have a really slick and easy dashboard to use. This is like an add-on value for your personal lines customers. So if they happen to say that they randomly, I don't know, cut hair every once in a while, or like we'll sometimes do some contract work, talk to them about it. Make sure that they have the adequate coverage. You saw the premium. I mean, it's really pretty low premium, and you're getting the coverage that you need. And I better safe than sorry, I think, even when your business is small. So yeah. And Matt and Jason, if either of you want to add anything onto that. Jason, I'll let you go first. Nothing? Okay.
No,
Hey,
no,
Jane,
I think
this
you're
is-
pretty. Go ahead,
This
please.
is IAMB, Jason. I would like to add on and say that is what attracted us to Coterie. When we think of the typical IAMB member, small independent agency, perhaps a little more focused on the personal lines, and IAMB has been pushing our members that you want to get that ratio down a little bit. In a perfect world, a 50-50 personal lines, commercial lines is probably positioning you better. And we recognize that Coterie is that small business insurance provider, something we felt there was a need and could directly address what a lot of our members are looking for. So I appreciate you bringing that up. And, Tim at our office and I have a little black book in each of the carriers within IMS that says, here's their specialty and niche, and you just nailed what it is. And I just want our members to recognize If you're looking for the type of risk that Jane was just putting out there, this is a fit. The technology is extremely attractive that you can get in and quote this and get it out there. So I appreciate you saying that, Jane. And I think that is spot on for what attracted us to Coterie, and really what I'm employing our members to look at this for is that type of fix. So yeah, thank you for that.
I think that nailed it. I got nothing better to add to than that. So thank you.
Yeah, and another thing is, although, you know, this is what our market is, or what maybe differentiates us, is that we're great for the small risks out there. We do have pretty broad appetite. So as Matt was saying, with, you know, restaurant coverages and some other business classes that we're adding on, we're a pretty good market for a lot of things, actually. Matt, if you want to add on that.
Yeah, sure, Jane. So I think we cover something like 70 to 80% of the small business market. Is within classes that we have an appetite for. So I think of the differentiators not really being, you know, our policy for our BOP policy is primarily standard ISO forms plus those Coterie endorsements. We're probably a best fit for the small, you know, the main street risks that other carriers also want. So to me, those aren't our differentiators. It's the fact that you can bind a policy in 4 minutes. It's that quick quote that Jason was talking about, that link to the customer that allows you to kind of digitally transfer back and forth a quote with your customer and house it on your website. We're building capabilities to allow us to handle those, you know, address all the needs of larger customers too. That's a place that we're building into. We'll have more property focused type industries added to our appetite over time. So real estate, habitational, those are on our roadmap. Addition of cyber coverage is on our roadmap for later this year. So we're continually building out those capabilities to handle larger policies. But I think probably where we best fit in your agencies for the most part now is just like Jane said, those personalized risks who have a business, no matter how small it is, having that liability coverage, covering a couple laptops that are associated with their business on a BOP policy is probably where we best fit, with the ability to write larger policies for sure. You know, a restaurant, you know, going up in the average premium size, and continuing to grow over time. So I think that's kind of how I think of our fit in most agencies.
And I've got to put it out there, and it's a great example of IMS doing so at 15% new and renewal commissions, which we appreciate from Coterie, an example of writing through IMS and accessing Coterie this way, street level commissions, able to get what you need at those commission levels. So I had to get that in there. I know what also speaks to agents as well. So
Absolutely. So I've in the chat put my email in there. I'm also going to ask Nikki if you want to put your email in the chat for any questions. Nikki is an account manager on our team. She has, I want to say, 15 or 20 years of experience in the insurance industry. She is a powerhouse when it comes to questions you may have about our products or about our dashboard, and she would be happy to help as well as me. I'd be more than happy to help with any questions you may have. So I'll let her put her email down in that chat function if she can. And then I don't think that we have any other questions. So I just wanted to quickly, before I let you all go over how you can actually sign up. So if you are currently a member of IMS already, there's a form that you will fill out. The link is in the chat, but it's through our website, and it's just a co-branded page where you fill out the form. If you are not an IMS member, Jason, I'd love for you to quickly go over that for folks. Brittany has already put the link in there, but I just want to, hopefully give these folks an idea of how that process works and how they can kind of get over to us. Jason Ernest, sorry.
Sorry, yep. No, I wanted to make sure there. So
Yep.
yeah, very, very easy on the Iamb website. do the same by providing his contact information was on the slide. But go through IA&B website for more information. Just simply type in IMS and you'll have access to our informational page. Or I gave the direct access site, imsaccess.com. If you go there, select your specific state, and then it'll allow you to, one, see more profiles on all the carriers that we have available, including Coterie, but also has the simple application process to go through that. IMS verifies that you are a member of IA&B. You provide that 4-step process and you're in writing. So I believe Coterie is one of the quicker carriers for granting that application, a matter of days, if that. So literally, if this is something that you have interest in and have a need, the 4-step application for IMS approval from Coterie, and literally within days, you're on and quoting and writing business. So very simple process. But again, reach out to Tim at our office or just go to our website, search IMS. You'll have all the information you need there.
Yeah, and if you have, something sitting on your desk right now that you think this is a fit for and you would like to get into our dashboard for it, I'm sure that we can all work together to try and get you in both systems as soon as possible. So yeah, we'll work with you on it. And really, we're all here to answer questions and be a resource to you as an agent. So we're an insurance company, yes, but we're also a technology company, and we want to make sure that we're building products that fit your needs accurately and that we're not making decisions on your behalf. So even if you log into our system and something annoys you, please send an email. Like we need that information. We are building this based on the agent's feedback. We have a lot of insurance experience over on our team, but the agent's experience is very unique, and we're really aware of that and want to make sure that we're building products, systems, features, support teams, everything in a way that's serves you best. So please keep that in mind and don't hesitate to reach out to us. If no one has any questions anymore, I think we can end it here. I may send it over to Skylar, our account director, just to kind of wrap us up.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. So again, thank you everybody for your time today and joining us. We're very excited to be working together. And again, as said, a lot of the pertinent information that you'll need is listed there in the chat. So feel free to take that and hang on to it. And we look forward to working together. So I hope everybody has a wonderful day. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, guys. Thanks, members. And we're here for any questions. So thanks to everybody at Coterie, and we very much look forward to working with you as well. Have a good day, everybody.
Bye, all. Thanks.